Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show. For a strong person who has the potential to enter the inner sea, Hyles will never hate such a person. When the person in charge of the Jinhai Chamber of Commerce heard this sentence, he was also shocked. No wonder that customer was able to get so many ships in the Storm Galaxy without being targeted. It turned out that he was actually covered by the Inner Sea King Crazy Shark pirates. Who is this man Holy? After obtaining the permission of the Crazy Shark pirates, they also drove a large cargo ship and began to land on the Black Rock Star. With a dull sound, the large cargo ship also landed on Black Rock Star. The huge body fell on the ground, splashing a puff of smoke. The person in charge of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce also walked off the cargo ship, and Su Yan also walked over when he saw it. Unexpectedly, the person in charge of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce saw Su Yan coming, and he also trotted all the way over. "Oh, this lord, slow down." The person in charge of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce also came over with a flattering expression. Seeing the expression of the person in charge of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce, Su Yan was also at a loss. But now, Su Yan is most concerned about how much these ships can sell for. There are 30 E-class ships and 5 C-class ships here. Count these ships, because some of the ships are seriously damaged, you can just look at them. During this time, Su Yan looted several small pirate fleets in addition to the Huangquan pirate fleet. In battle, however, damage is inevitable. The powerful firepower of the Valkyrie heavy fire ship is a complete disaster for those ships with weak armor, otherwise, there would definitely be more ships here now. Looking at the ships in front of them, some ships still have obvious battle marks. But the person in charge of the Jinhai Chamber of Commerce took a look at these ships, and there was actually the flagship of the Huangquan pirate fleet in Huangquan. The value of this ship is among all A-class ships, and it can be regarded as middle and upper class. After some estimates, the person in charge of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce spoke up. "My lord, I calculated that the value of these ships is about 5 billion star coins. Because some of these ships are seriously damaged, we need to spend a lot of stars just to repair them." The person in charge of the Jinhai Chamber of Commerce glanced at Su Yan, for fear that he would not be satisfied with the price he gave. And Su Yan touched his chin, secretly thinking, sure enough, robbing these interstellar pirates is the fastest way to get money. So be it. Su Yan also nodded, and the person in charge of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce was also relieved. Finally, the deal was negotiated. In this case, he neither offended the Crazy Shark pirates, but also completed the task explained above. Thinking of this, the person in charge of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce also breathed a sigh of relief. But at this moment, Su Yan suddenly said, "You guys still sell information here, right?" "That's right, our Gimhe Chamber of Commerce has all kinds of goods, only what you want is not something we don't sell." The person in charge of the Jinhai Chamber of Commerce also quickly asked, "Master, what kind of information do you want?" "I need news about the intrepid victory." After hearing what Su Yan needed, the person in charge of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce also whispered to Su Yan, "Master, this trip is too deep, you better not go this trip. Recent news about the fearless victory has already raised 10 million star coins. Many inner sea forces have also set their sights on the fearless victory this time, sir, be careful." After Su Yan heard these words, she also touched her chin. It seems that the legendary S-class ships are indeed going to appear in the open sea. Otherwise, this news would not have been so expensive. After thinking for a moment, Su Yan also said, "It's okay, you sell me the news about the Dreadnought victory first." Seeing that Su Yan continued to insist, the person in charge of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce also obtained documents from the Chamber of Commerce. Su Yan gets news about the intrepid victory. He wanted to know what kind of powerful ship it was that could shake the forces of the inner sea. When he read the information on the Dreadnought victory, he immediately understood. It turned out that the forces for the Dreadnought victory were not just for the Dreadnought victory. The Dreadnought victory is an S-class firepower ship, and its firepower is even comparable to some SS-class ships. The captain of the Fearless Victory once obtained a lot of treasure in an ancient ruin, but he encountered a warp storm during the return process and was lost in the warp ever since. 500 years have passed since the dreadnought Victory disappeared. Someone once found traces of the existence of an ancient empire in the ruins of the dreadnought Victory, but the treasure in it has been brought into the warp by the dreadnought Victory. Some warp space scholars speculate that a massive warp space storm will occur in the Silver Light Galaxy in the near future. The Fearless Victory entered the warp space from then on. Perhaps this time it can use the warp space storm to return to the Sea of Stars again. After reading the news, Su Yan couldn't help frowning slightly. This is just too ridiculous. Simply because the intrepid Victory suffered a warp storm in the Silver Light Galaxy hundreds of years ago, can they be sure that the dreadnought Victory will reappear in the Silver Light Galaxy hundreds of years later? However, those forces are now holding a mentality of would rather believe what they have than what they don't. What if the intrepid Victory showed up? The treasure above, isn't it cheaper for others? You know, that is a treasure related to the ancient empire. Today, there are still several ancient empires that have not yet become extinct in the Sea of Stars, but they have all chosen to seal the kingdom. Ordinary people simply cannot enter the territory of their empires, but the strength of these ancient empires is beyond doubt. Every ancient empire has the super strength that can destroy a galaxy with the lift of a hand. The value of the treasures of the ancient empire can be imagined. Su Yan put away the information, just as he was going to pass through the Silver Light Galaxy and head to the Gold Galaxy. At that time, it is not impossible to join in the fun. If you can get some benefits from those big bosses, you will be sure to make a profit. Just when Su Yan was still imagining, the mechanical priest came over. Your honorable captain, the recycled steel technology you asked me to study has been completed. As soon as these words came out, Su Yan was also delighted. Has the interstellar black technology recycled steel finally been developed by yourself? Sure enough, none of these mechanical priests had a dry meal. It's time for a full upgrade of the Hyperion. Very good. How much does it cost to apply recycled steel to our fleet? Su Yan is also rich now. After all, he just negotiated a $5 billion deal. Now, he should be regarded as a little rich. Thinking of this, Su Yan also touched his nose, thinking to himself, money is really easy to earn. And the mechanical priest did not know when he took out a computer. After some calculations, the mechanical priest spoke. My dear captain, according to our calculations, if the entire fleet is loaded with recycled steel technology, it will cost 15 billion star coins. But you don't need to worry, after our careful calculation, in fact, only 10.5 billion star coins are enough to arm the fleet. 15 billion star coins. Su Yan was stunned. 15 billion star coins. Then what about just arming the Hyperion? In that case, you only need 5 billion star coins. Of course, we can also save you money, and 4.5 billion star coins can almost complete the weapon. Sure enough, fleet upgrades are often accompanied by huge costs. Su Yan couldn't help but feel a headache, and pinched the center of his eyebrows. I had considered that the upgrade of ships would require huge funds, but I didn't expect the funds to be so huge. However, after thinking about it, if the recycled steel is loaded, there will be no need for maintenance work after fighting by himself in the future. That's a small expense left. After thinking about it, Su Yan also sighed. It seems that I have to go to the Golden Galaxy. The 5 billion star coins that I have just obtained is not even half of the cost of a fleet transformation. Now those interstellar pirates in the Storm Galaxy will immediately start the space transition when they see their ships. The way he wanted to make money by robbing interstellar pirates was completely cut off. Now, there are only two paths. Or go to the Golden Galaxy according to the original plan and rely on some unknown astrolabes to obtain a lot of money. But this kind of risk is not small, maybe it will come back empty-handed. And the second way. Su Yan took out the Shanghai compass that Hyles had given him before, and the coordinates in it were the coordinates of the upcoming appearance of the dreadnought Victory. Looking at the coordinates in the Shanghai compass, after Su Yan thought for a moment, he also held back the restlessness in his heart. It is still unknown how many powerhouses are eyeing the dreadnought victory. But only with the addition of the Heavenly King level force of the Crazy Shark Pirates, there will be no small number of strong people who will appear at that time. Su Yan is also a little curious. In the end there will be those powerhouse forces. But the most urgent task is to go to the Golden Galaxy first. Sure enough, spending money is like running water, and the emergence of recycled steel has made my wallet that is not rich even worse. But Su Yan thinks it's all worth it. If you let your fleet be equipped with recycled steel, the combat effectiveness of its ships will definitely increase significantly. Thinking of this, Su Yan also returned to the bridge, preparing to make a space jump to the Silver Light Galaxy. Now the Ingguan Galaxy must have a lot of strong forces entrenched, and I can just go and investigate. The target galaxy is being set, Silver Light Galaxy, exploding star. Prepare for space jump, it whoosh. An hour later, Su Yan's fleet also instantly appeared in the Silver Light Galaxy. The Silver Light Galaxy is a galaxy with a newborn star and 4 planets. But the most peculiar thing about the Silver Light Galaxy is that the 4 planets are all planets with extremely harsh environments. One is full of poisonous gas and beasts, the other is full of radiation and mutant plants, and the other planet is completely a desert planet, with a temperature difference of 1000 degrees Celsius between day and night. As for the last planet, it is the detonating star in front of you. Compared with other planets, deflagration stars are relatively safe planets. The surface of the planet is covered with a large number of volcanoes, which erupt from time to time due to various factors. However, compared to several other planets, its safety factor is relatively low. At this moment, Su Yan saw from the back of the planet, a fleet was moving slowly. Su Yan frowned slightly when he saw the sign of the opposite ship. On the opposite ship, an image of an orc with oversized fangs was imprinted on the ship. The fleet of green orcs, as expected, wherever there is war, there are these green orcs. Greenskin orcs, an extremely warlike race. Where there is war, there are these green-skinned orcs. The technology of these green orcs is not high, but they are better than the population base of green orcs. The huge population base is enough for them to build a fleet in a short period of time. So, if you go up against the greenskin orcs, you annihilated the opposing fleet, but you were injured, and that is the victory of the green orcs. A greenskin orc fleet usually consists of hundreds of ships. Seeing this, Su Yan immediately turned the boat around. I don't want to confront these lunatics like green-skinned orcs, there is no benefit in fighting them. Their ships are all extremely low level, and they will be scrapped after a few dozen. After being scrapped, it is a mass of scrap iron. It took a long time to get a pile of scrap iron. What do you want? The space transition engine still has some time to cool down, and Su Yan is also constantly wandering in the Silver Light Galaxy. Now, he doesn't dare to land casually if he encounters an accident when landing. In addition to his own Hyperion, which can escape from space, other ships under his command will suffer. At this time, Su Yan frowned slightly. Because he saw another fleet, a metal fleet full of technology. Taking a look at the painting of the fleet, it is actually a Tau ship. The Tau are another huge race from the inner sea. However, compared to the green-skinned orcs just now, the Tau are not so hostile to other races. Even, the Tau often reach alliance agreements with some races. Even so, Su Yan didn't want to deal with them. These guys are very religious, and once they hook you up, they'll keep feeding you their beliefs. Although I won't force you, but if it is you, someone keeps chanting sutras beside me, and if it is you, you are also annoying. Su Yan changed direction again and couldn't help sighing in her heart. The current Silver Light Galaxy is really crowded with powerhouses from all walks of life, so don't stay here too much. Ding, the space transition engine has cooled down, and the space transition can be performed at any time. The goal of space transition is being set, Golden Galaxy, Financial Star. Prepare for space jump, Gold Galaxy, Silver Star Port. As a satellite of the Financial Star, the Silver Star was also directly transformed into the largest star port in the Gold Galaxy. The size of this starport is about 10 times that of the Moon starport. There are as many as 100 million ships entering and leaving this starport every day. Such a huge flow is also enough to explain the prosperity of the Golden Galaxy. At this moment, Suyan's fleet was also near the Silver Starport, and the communication channel of the Silver Starport was also automatically connected to the Hyperion's channel. "Hello, this is Silver Starport, your ship has entered the starport range. Excuse me, do you need to park the ship?" Before Suyan could answer, Lin Qingyue, who was beside her, suddenly spoke up. "No need, we have private berth, VIP 666 berth. Receive. Hello distinguished VIP users, your private berth has been cleaned, thank you for your support to Bang Gang. Next, please go to berth number 666 according to the positioning prompt." Subsequently, a positioning display also appeared on the ship's positioning system. Suyan glanced at Lin Qingyue. "You actually have a private berth at Bang Port?" Hearing this sentence, Lin Qingyue also spread her hands innocently. The Golden Galaxy is the most prosperous place in the outer seas. Our Lin family has 3 private berths here. Don't worry, no one will come to these berths at ordinary times. Even if my eldest brother and second brother come together, it will be enough. Seeing Lin Qingyue's innocent face, Suyan couldn't help but sigh in her heart, she was really inhuman. You know, a private berth can accommodate at least 100 ships. Private berths are generally only available for auction at auctions, which also makes a private berth in Baiyin Xingang sky high. But Lin Qingyue, this little rich woman, actually has 3? Soon, they parked all ships in dock 666. Immediately after they got off the ship, an alien race service staff came over. "Dear VIP user, does your fleet need maintenance? As a VIP user of our Star Harbor, you can enjoy the privilege of free maintenance once a year. And such a good thing?" Suyan also pointed to the ship behind him. "I need it, please." And the alien race service staff also said very politely, "It is our honor to serve the distinguished VIP users." After all, several service personnel also began to maintain the ship. After Lin Qingyue next to him came to the Golden Galaxy, it was as if he had returned to his own home. After all, apart from the solar system, what she knows best is this Golden Galaxy. In the Golden Galaxy, as long as you have money, everyone will treat you differently. Of course, on the other hand, if you are too poor, you may be discriminated against. The Golden Galaxy is such a place, and money is strength. Lin Qingyue also said lightly, to be honest, she didn't like this place. She felt that this place was too impersonal. If you have money, they will do your best to you. If you don't have money, they will treat you coldly. Everyone is like this, Lin Qingyue thinks they are fake. However, Lin Qingyue looked at Suyan. Among all the people she had met, only Suyan was the most true to her. This guy doesn't give himself up because of who he is. Although he often bullied herself, among all the people she knew, except for his family, he was the most sincere one. Suyan was sitting on the high-speed star track from Baiyin Xingang to Financial Star, but he was thinking about where to buy recycled steel materials for a while. "Suyan, how about you accompany me to the financial mall in a while?" Lin Qingyue blinked her big watery eyes and looked at Suyan eagerly. You must know that the financial mall is the largest mall in the outer seas, and no girl can resist the temptation to visit the mall. However, Suyan just touched her head. "No, I have to go to the material market in a while to buy some materials to upgrade the Hyperion." Hearing this answer, Lin Qingyue was a little disappointed, but she did not continue to pester Suyan. And Suyan also glanced at this little rich woman. Boom! Suddenly, Suyan knocked Lin Qingyue's little head. "After purchasing the materials, I'll go meet you. Before that, let Baiying come with you." Lin Qingyue glanced at Baiying next to Suyan, and suddenly showed a surprised expression. "When did Baiying follow? I didn't find it myself." And Suyan saw Lin Qingyue's surprised expression, and the corners of her mouth rose slightly. "Baiying has always been by my side, but she doesn't speak, so you just ignore her, right?" Hearing this sentence, Baiying's face also showed a strange look. And Lin Qingyue waved her hand quickly, no. I actually found out long ago. As soon as these words came out, the corner of Bai Ying's mouth rose slightly imperceptibly. But it was only slightly, and it rose for a moment. Soon, the star trails also brought them to the financial star. Su Yan took the star trail to continue to the material market, while Lin Qingyue and Bai Ying went to the financial mall. With Bai Ying next to Lin Qingyue, Su Yan felt more at ease. So, Su Yan also went straight to the material market. After some conversation, Su Yan also purchased a lot of materials. These materials are all used to make recycled steel. When the time comes, they will be handed over to the mechanical priests. They should know how to use these things. After earning a lap, his purse that had been bulging instantly shriveled. It's really easy to spend money, and it's hard to make money. Passing by a ship parts store, Su Yan was also instantly attracted by the ship materials inside. A-class ship superluminal engine, price, 150 million star coins. B-class ship superalloy armor, price, 100 million star coins. B-class ship nuclear energy reactor, price, 90 million star coins. Looking at the list prices of those ship parts, Su Yan also touched his chin, then glanced at his wallet. Good guy. It turns out that ship parts can also sell for such a high price. In this case, if I rob those interstellar pirates in the future, I might as well dismantle their most valuable parts and sell them. Just when Su Yan was still thinking about his big business of making money, a familiar voice sounded behind him. Su Yan? Didn't expect to meet you here. Su Yan turned around and saw Yun Qinghan and Huang Yang standing behind him. Next to the two of them, there was a guy dressed in gold and silver. Su Yan also recognized that this guy was the second generation of the famous star at their school. Rowan, his father, was also a planet lord. But his father has more than one planetary territory. Among all the planet lords in the outer seas, Rowan's father can be regarded as a middle-class existence. And Rowan glanced at Su Yan, and he also saw Su Yan's actions just now. Su Yan glanced at the ship parts and then at his wallet. Obviously want to buy ship parts, but because of wallet reasons, cannot afford to buy. Thinking of this, Rowan also pretended to be relaxed. Meeting is fate, Su Yan, I invited everyone from Shanghai University in the Golden Galaxy to reserve a private room in the restaurant of the financial mall. How's it going? Don't you want to catch up with your old classmate, Su Yan? Classmate reunion? Su Yan touched his chin, he was about to refuse. But he suddenly thought of one thing, and then looked up at Rowan. Is Ling Bing here? Ling Bing, the thorn flower of Shanghai University. Together with Yun Qinghan, they are also known as the twin school flowers of Shanghai University. But a large part of Yun Qinghan's school beau name is because she is the daughter of a planet lord. But Ling Bing is different. The reason why she is called the Flower of Thorns is because she majors in warfare. She is a war lunatic, and all the mentors who have taught her say so about her. If she had been born thousands of years ago, she would have become the most feared Valkyrie on the battlefield. It's a pity that she lives in this era, and there is no ship that can carry her in this era. And this time, Su Yan's target is Ling Bing. She needs a combat commander. This guy is clearly the best choice. And when Luo Wen heard Su Yan asking about Ling Bing's news, there was a hint of ruthlessness in his eyes, but this emotion just flashed by. In a blink of an eye, he returned to an amiable expression. Of course, I heard that Ling Bing joined the Sun Alliance, but she has resigned now, which is a pity. Originally, I just became a one-star member of the Sun Alliance, and I was going to transfer her to my fleet. Having said that, Rowan also showed off his identity by the way. But this time, Su Yan also showed a smile. Does Ling Bing have no fleet yet? Very good, if she can be persuaded to board her own ship, after the size of her own fleet grows gradually, she will be capable enough to serve as the first mate. Thinking of this, Su Yan also smiled. Since that's the case, it's better for me to be respectful than to obey. Rowan looked at Su Yan in front of him and sneered in his heart. When you get there, I'll see if you can laugh. When Yin Qinghan next to him saw that Luo Wen invited Su Yan, he couldn't help but frown. In her impression, this Rowan is a guy who will do anything to achieve his goals. Now a one-star member of the Sun Alliance, he's also said before that Su Yan doesn't deserve an S-class ship at all. Now that Su Yan is invited with such fanfare, it is estimated that it will be a feast for Su Yan at that time. Taking the Star train, they soon came to the largest mall of Financial Star, the Financial Mall. As soon as I arrived at the Financial Mall, I saw several old classmates in different costumes approaching. Luo Xiao is here. Thanks to Luo Xiao, it opened our eyes today. Only someone with a lot of money like Luo Xiao can book a private room in a high-end restaurant in a financial mall. I heard that a private room in that restaurant needs at least 100,000 stars to cover it. A few of our classmates are also touched by Luo Xiao's light. A few old classmates naturally flattered unceremoniously. After all, flattering would not lose a piece of meat. And Su Yan didn't speak, glanced at these old classmates, and didn't see Ling Bing's figure. Although this kid Rowan is annoying, he shouldn't be able to deceive people. After a bit of flattery, Rowan was also a little flirtatious. Don't stand still, brothers, come with me. After all, they also took the elevator to the high-end restaurant, Dream, on the 66th floor. In the entire Financial Star, Dream Restaurant can be regarded as one of the best restaurants. At this time, Su Yan also followed Luo Wen into the restaurant. Walking through a long corridor, they were also led by the waiter to their private room. However, at this time a private room behind them opened. A familiar figure came out. This person was Jin Shangwen, the head of the Jinhai Chamber of Commerce who had traded with Su Yan. Jin Shangwen was about to go to the bathroom, but at this moment, out of the corner of his eyes, he also saw Su Yan's figure. Huh? Why is that lord here? At this time, the private room door was also opened again, and it was the owner of the Dream Restaurant who came out of it. When the owner of Dream Restaurant saw Jin Shangwen standing here without saying a word, his heart suddenly froze. Could it be that his restaurant made this adult dissatisfied? Thinking of this, the owner of Dream Restaurant was also sweating coldly behind his back, and the drink in his stomach woke up. You must know that Dream Restaurant belongs to the Financial Mall, and the Financial Mall is a small industry of the Jinhai Chamber of Commerce. Once the person in charge is offended, his restaurant will not be able to wait until tomorrow, and will be closed down in the afternoon, and Jin Shangwen's mind is not on the owner of the Dream Restaurant at this moment. Little Wang, what is the number of the private room for that group? Hearing this sentence, the owner of the Dream Restaurant also glanced at Luo Wen. Master Jin, I will go to work immediately. Go check it out, remember, don't disturb the people in that box. In that box, there is a character that neither you nor I can offend. Su Yan has a close relationship with the Crazy Shark Pirates. If he angered him, he might involve the Crazy Shark Pirates. Thinking of this, Jin Shangwen also secretly said in his heart that he didn't expect to meet this master here. It was also instructed above that you must not offend him. Taking advantage of this opportunity, it would be great if the relationship could be brought closer. And Su Yan didn't know Jin Shangwen's thoughts. After he entered the private room, he searched for Ling Bing's figure in the crowd. At this moment, Su Yan also saw Ling Bing shaking with a wine glass in the corner. She was sitting there, but any man who wanted to get close to her would leave angrily after touching her sharp eyes. Seeing this, Su Yan also walked over. But at this moment, a voice caught everyone's attention. Everyone, thank you very much for being here. After many days, our old classmates gathered here again. This is fate. As the convener of this gathering, Rowan also started his tirade. And Su Yan naturally has no interest at all. His goal is very simple. He came straight to Ling Bing, and when Ling Bing saw Su Yan, the sharpness in his eyes disappeared without a trace. I didn't expect you to come to this boring party too. Ling Bing also has a certain favorable impression of Su Yan. Because, when she was at Shanghai Academy, Su Yan was one of the few people who could do battle with her in the war simulation course. So the relationship between the two is more like an opponent and more like a friend. Su Yan glanced at Ling Bing, and then said very calmly, I heard that you are here. so I chose to attend this class reunion. As soon as these words came out, the red wine glass that was shaking in Ling Bing's hand suddenly stopped. Afterwards, a blush appeared on Ling Bing's face. For me? Ling Bing glanced at Su Yan, and at this moment Su Yan was also looking at Ling Bing very sincerely. That's right, I came here just for you this time. Ling Bing, I want you to be my crew member. My fleet needs people like you. As soon as these words came out, Ling Bing froze in place. Co-author, you came here just to invite yourself to be a crew member? Ling Bing was stunned for a while, then asked, is it gone? Is there anything else I missed? Seeing Su Yan's dazed face, a blush appeared on Ling Bing's face again. She raised the red wine glass in her hand, then raised her head and drank it. After drinking the red wine, Ling Bing also looked at Su Yan, and she returned to her previous indifferent appearance. I heard you have an S-class ship, do you have anything else besides that? You should also know that I joined the army of the Sun Alliance at the beginning, but then I resigned. If you want me on board, it's not enough to have an S-class ship. Hearing this sentence, Su Yan also said calmly, a fleet of S-class ships and 10 B-class firepower ships is enough? 10 B-class fire ships? It has only been a few months since they walked out of Shanghai. Where did Su Yan get so many B-tier ships, and they are still firepower ships? Ling Bing looked at Su Yan suspiciously, but she also knew very well that Su Yan was not the kind of person who would lie and trick people into getting on the boat. Thinking of this, Ling Bing also said, since this is the case, I will. Su Yan, I heard that your ship is an S-class ship. Before Ling Bing could finish speaking, a discordant voice interrupted the conversation between the two. I saw Rowan walking towards Su Yan in the eyes of everyone. Seeing this, Su Yan narrowed her eyes slightly. Yes, is there a problem? That's it, I want to requisition your S-class ship. I heard that there are signs of recovery of the Zerg recently. Now the Sun Alliance is expanding its armaments, and your S-class ships are just a good combat power. You must have spent a lot of money on S-class ships during this period of time. After all, the maintenance costs of S-class ships are a lot of money. But you don't have to worry, I will compensate you with 1 million star coins and a B-class ship. At this time, Huang Yang also jumped out from behind Rowan. Su Yan, why don't you thank brother Rowan soon? Luo Wen also patted Su Yan on the shoulder and said, you're welcome, all of this is for the safety of the entire Shanghai. Besides, we are classmates, so there is no need to be so polite. After all, Rowan also looked at Su Yan in front of him. Everyone present looked at Su Yan. What would Su Yan choose? Rowan has moved out the Sun Alliance. If Su Yan offends the Sun Alliance, it is estimated that even Blue Star will not be able to go back. At this time, Su Yan also looked at Luo Wen and said lightly, you too? When this remark came out, everyone was shocked. Is Su Yan so brave? How dare he scold Rowan directly? Luo Wen didn't expect that Su Yan was so rigid, and his face was a little ugly for a while. Su Yan, it's all about defending against the Zerg threat. What if I don't give it? That's the trouble with the Sun Alliance. At this time, Rowan also moved up the Sun Alliance. He is a 1-star member of the Sun Alliance, and he is also a member of the Sun Alliance. Ling Bing next to him also glanced at Su Yan. No matter how bad Rowan is, he is still a member of the Sun Alliance. Now, if Su Yan attacks Rowan, he'll really be a wanted man in the Sun Alliance. By that time, he couldn't even go back to Lanxing. Rowan also relied on the Sun Alliance behind him, so he was so tough and wanted to get the S-class ship in Su Yan's hands. At this moment, the door of the private room was kicked open. I heard it all. Su Yan, you shot this kid. Don't worry, when you are wanted by the Sun Alliance, just join our crazy shark pirates. With me covering you, the Sun Alliance can't help you. It was the head of the crazy shark pirates who kicked open the door, Hyles. Su Yan was stunned for a moment. Why did Hyles appear here? At this time, an indifferent voice sounded from behind Hyles. Your Excellency Hyles, I'm still here. Don't you look down on me when you talk like this? A young man in an army green robe walked in. However, when Rowan saw the medal on the young man's chest, his face turned pale. I saw that the medal on the young man's chest was a medal with a sun as the center and 6 golden stars surrounding the sun. This medal represents the identity of a young man, the 6-star commander of the Sun Alliance. 6-star commander. That is an existence that is several times higher than his own 1-star member. And Hyles laughed loudly. Dao Wujian, this kid is my favorite, don't you want to win love with a sword? Dao Wujian looked at Su Yan, and then went straight to Su Yan. Then, in full view, Dao Wujian saluted Su Yan. Your Excellency Su Yan, the Sun Alliance already knows about your fight against the Zerg on Moke Planet. Thank you very much for your contribution to the entire Shanghai. I'm sorry to meet in this situation, please leave the next thing to me to handle. Immediately afterwards, Dao Wujian looked at Rowan. I remember that your father is the Lord of the Spiral Star. It seems that the interior of the Sun Alliance needs to be cleaned up. After all, Dao Wujian directly pulled the 1-star badge of the Sun Alliance in front of Luo Wen's chest. From today, you are no longer a member of the Sun Alliance. When I go back, I will interrogate any member who applies to become an Alliance member through you. In the Sun Alliance, there is no need for a moth like you. Please consider donating a coffee. Or checking out my shirts on TeePublic. With a plop, Rowan sat on the ground with his legs limp. How he came to be a member of the Sun Alliance, he could not be more clear. If Dao Wujian really investigates like this, let alone him, even his father's status is not guaranteed. For a time, Rowan was also panicked. He looked at Su Yan, and at this time, he seemed to see a life-saving straw. Su Yan. It was me who was wrong just now. For the sake of us all being classmates, let me go. How imposing Rowan was just now, how embarrassed he is now. If all his affairs are investigated by the Sun Alliance, let alone himself, it is estimated that even his family will have an accident. And Su Yan looked at Rowan in front of him and said lightly, you know what? I really want to kill you right now. As soon as these words came out, Haley smiled. Dao Wujian looked up at the ceiling as if nothing had happened. Everyone could not help but take a deep breath at this moment. How long has it been since then? Su Yan actually has something to do with the crazy shark pirates and the Sun Alliance. How on earth did he do it all? Luo Wen's face was also extremely pale. He did not expect that there is such a huge amount of energy behind Su Yan today. If he knew that Su Yan had something to do with the crazy shark pirates, he wouldn't even dare to let go of this fart if he lent him 10 courage. But Su Yan just glanced at him and then said, it's too cheap to kill you. The Sun Alliance will investigate the details of this guy, right? Hearing this sentence, Dao Wujian also nodded, yes, I will be personally responsible for this matter. That's good. Having said that, Su Yan didn't go to see Rowan again. And Ling Bing looked at Su Yan in front of him, and his eyes were full of brilliance. Dao Wujian looked at Su Yan in front of him, and he was also secretly relieved. Originally, this time he came to this restaurant to unite the Jin clan and the Shark Pirates, so as to gain an advantage in the next battle for the Dreadnought victory. Who knows, the Jin clan revealed that Su Yan was also here. Now Su Yan has a very high prestige in the upper echelons of the Sun Alliance. While Su Yan was still at Shanghai University, the Sun Alliance took a fancy to this talented young man. It's just that Su Yan gathered the applications of the Sun Alliance at that time, otherwise Su Yan is now a 3-star elite. But the Sun Alliance did not expect that they would receive news about Su Yan again shortly after. According to the news brought by Lin Beihe, Su Yan not only destroyed the Zerg mother nest, but also had an extremely powerful psionicist under him. No matter which race Su Yan destroys the Zerg brood, they will appreciate Su Yan. What's more, Su Yan is still a blue-star human. The upper management of the Sun Alliance attaches great importance to Su Yan, and said that if there is a chance, Su Yan can enter the Sun Alliance to serve as a 5-star general. A great potential human being. Dao Wujian glanced at Su Yan. Such a young man not only has a powerful fleet under his command. Moreover, after only a few months of stepping into the Shanghai, he was on the line with the Inner Sea Heavenly King level forces. This kind of ability is a bit ashamed of Dao Wujian. Boom. Just then, the door opened again. I saw Lin Qingyue and Baiying standing at the door, who were dressed in new clothes. The two of them glanced around, and finally their eyes fell on Su Yan. What are you doing here? Didn't you promise to go shopping with the two of us? Su Yan scratched his head, thinking that he would be able to leave after recruiting Ling Bing. Who knows, because of Rowan it took so long. At this time, Hailey suddenly reached out and grabbed the collars of Lin Qingyue and Baiying. You too, Su Yan, let's borrow it. As soon as these words came out, Hailey's also looked at Dao Wujian, and Dao Wujian also spoke. Your Excellency Su Yan, let's change place. The people of the Jin clan are now waiting for us in the Supreme Box opposite. Perhaps, you can also attend this meeting. Su Yan glanced at Ling Bing, then said to Dao Wujian, can I bring my crew over there? Sure. After getting the answer, Su Yan also looked at Ling Bing, let's go, my first mate. Ling Bing was stunned for a moment, then reacted. After thinking for a moment, Ling Bing also showed a heartwarming smile. Let's go then. Lin Qingyue broke free from Hailey's restraint and went directly to Su Yan's side to hug Su Yan's arm. I want to go too. As for Baiying just glanced at Hailey, and Hailey let go of her angrily. What a joke, Baiying, as a psionicist, has a much higher psionic level than Hailey's. In terms of heads up, Hailey's really isn't necessarily her opponent. Everyone left the private room, leaving only Rowan sitting on the ground with a pale face. Others also glanced at Rowan cautiously, but they didn't expect Su Yan to have such a large amount of energy now. Yun Qinghan stood in the crowd, and the shock in his eyes couldn't be further added. How long has it been since the last Vulcan farewell? Su Yan has grown so rapidly in a short period of time. Thinking of Ling Bing, who was taken away by Su Yan, Yun Qinghan couldn't help but sigh. After getting on Su Yan's boat, Ling Bing will surely soar to the sky in the future. As for himself, it is estimated that he still needs to continue to seek opportunities in the Sea of Stars. And Su Yan's side has come to the Supreme Treasure Chest, and there are already many people sitting here in the treasure chest at this moment. Among them, Su Yan's eyes fell on Jin Shangwen, who was standing behind a member of the Jin clan. It was he who passed the news of Su Yan to everyone present. Now, the forces present are the Jin clan, the Sun Alliance, and the Shark Pirates. With Su Yan, there are 4 forces. Su Yan sat in the corner without saying a word, and the 3 forces present combined, the entire outer sea had to stop shaking. He just came here to recharge, and it can be regarded as a related household, and that Jin clan member saw Su Yan coming, and also stood up voluntarily. You must be the Lord Su Yan, that Shang Wen said. Introduce myself, I am the president of the Jin High Chamber of Commerce and a member of the Jin clan. My name is Jin Luo, please give me more advice. The girl from the Jin clan, who looked a little young in front of her, also showed the etiquette of the nobles vividly. Seeing this, Su Yan also introduced herself politely. Subsequently, the quartet forces also began to take their seats. The meeting this time was simple, and it was about the battle for the intrepid victory. Since everyone is here, let's start our meeting this time. Obviously, this member of the Jin clan, named Jin Luo, was the one who spoke at this meeting. Dao Wujian, who represented the Sun Alliance, glanced at Hailey's on the opposite side. And Hailey's is a rascal. Seeing this, Dao Wujian was also the first to speak. Your Excellency Jin Luo, what are you trying to gather us here for? If it's to get us out of the fight for the intrepid victory, then let me say goodbye now. Now the Dark Elves are about to move, and our Sun Alliance is also expanding its armaments in response to the sudden attack. This S-class ship is a very important armament force for our Sun Alliance. At this time, Hailey's also expressed her attitude. Now that the inner sea is in turmoil, she also needs an S-class ship to expand her power. The Shark Pirates, if they can get the Dreadnought victory. Then the crazy Shark Pirates with 2 S-class ships will undoubtedly increase their strength greatly among the 10 Heavenly Kings. In the inner sea, strength is everything. Seeing that both of them would not give in, Su Yan also leaned back on the chair. "What about your Excellency Su Yan?" At this time, Jin Luo also looked at Su Yan. And Su Yan spread his hands. "In terms of strength, I'm not as strong as the crazy shark pirates. In terms of power, I'm not as strong as the Sun Alliance. And in terms of financial resources, I'm not as strong as your Jin clan. So, I'm neutral, you guys talk about you first." Before reaching a conclusion, Su Yan naturally expressed neutrality, but at this moment, the system beep sounded. Ding, a special check-in location was detected, the scene of the Financial Star Conference. Special check-in location? Su Yan showed a smile. No wonder she didn't trigger the check-in after stepping on the Financial Star. It turned out that this sign-in reward was waiting for him here. Sign in. Ding, congratulations on getting the ATX laser cannon design drawing and strengthening Yamato cannon design drawing. After seeing these two sign-in rewards, Su Yan was stunned. 2 design drawings, just gone? However, when Su Yan opened the introduction of the 2 blueprints, he could not help gasping for air. ATX laser cannon, ship standard weapon. ATX laser turret will be installed on the ship after research and development. ATX laser turret can attack multiple targets at the same time. Enhanced Yamato cannon. Enhanced Yamato cannon. After research and development, the Yamato cannon will be able to fire 3 times in a row. Good guy. The appearance of the ATX laser cannon will indicate that the Yamato can finally face the group attack of the local fleet. The enhanced version of the Yamato cannon is more powerful, and Su Yan can fire 3 consecutive Yamato cannons in the future. Under the attack of the 3 Yamato guns, Su Yan did not believe that any ship could resist the continuous attack of the 3 Yamato guns. But then, Su Yan began to worry. The problem of recycled steel has just been solved, and these 2 things are undoubtedly another big expense. Now that my wallet is empty, how can I upgrade the Hyperion? At this moment, a call woke Su Yan from her thoughts. Your Excellency Su Yan, what do you think? Su Yan raised his head, and saw Dao Wujian, Hyles, and Jin Luo. All 3's eyes fell on him. When Jin Luo saw Su Yan's blank face, she also carefully explained the content. We Jin clan can spend a lot of money to hire you to help us win the Dreadnought victory. Miss Hyles, what you need is a firm foothold in the inner sea, for which I am willing to give a mineral planet as a reward. Mr. Dao Wujian, what the Sun Alliance needs is armament strength, and I am willing to provide 100 A-class ships as a reward. It is not a loss for the Jin clan, and the shots are extremely arrogant. Even Dao Wujian and Hyles were a little moved. 100 A-class ships are indeed much more valuable to the Sun Alliance than one S-class ship. After all, no matter how powerful an S-class ship is, it is just a ship. After thinking for a moment, Dao Wujian also stood up. This matter, I need to communicate with the above. And Hyles is still hesitating here. A mineral planet is very tempting for her value. After all, she is an interstellar pirate, and the planetary territory is scarce. Of course, mineral-rich planets, even fewer. A mineral planet can bring not only rich ores, but also the economic lifeline of the entire crazy shark pirates. Thinking of this, Hyles also lost her giggling look before. I also need to think about it. At this time, Jin Luo looked at Su Yan with a sweet smile. Your Excellency Su Yan, if you are willing to help our Jin clan will pay you 10 billion in commissions as a reward. As soon as these words came out, Su Yan was also a little moved. After all, he had no desire to compete for the Dreadnought victory in the first place. No matter how powerful the Dreadnought victory is, it is nothing but an S-class ship. I already own the Hyperion, and after adding recycled steel, ATX laser cannons, and enhanced Yamato cannons, the Hyperion can be rated at least as an S-plus ship. Thinking of this, Su Yan also asked, if I accept it, what do I need to do? Hearing this sentence, Jin Luo was also delighted. Unexpectedly, the first breakthrough was actually on Su Yan's side. So, Jin Luo also said, at that time, you only need to protect the ships of our Jin clan. Of course, compared to the Sun Alliance and the Mad Shark Pirates, your mission will be easier. Having said that, Jin Luo also looked at Su Yan. And Su Yan agreed to Jin Luo's request without hesitation. Later, Dao Wujian, the representative of the Sun Alliance, also returned, and he agreed to the request of the Jin clan. And the crazy shark pirates finally agreed to the conditions of the Jin clan. They also wanted to join the battle for the dreadnought victory, but the Jin clan gave too much. After the meeting, Su Yan decisively got his own commission. For the Jin clan, this 10 billion commission is really nothing. For Su Yan, it was a complete windfall. With this funding, he can start to upgrade the Hyperion. In this way, everyone began to gear up for the appearance of the dreadnought victory. Finally, on this day, the Jin clan received the news. An extremely large-scale warp storm occurred in the Silver Light Galaxy, and the time and place are accurate. Immediately set off, with the whole army rumbling. A warp rift suddenly appeared at the center of the Silver Light Galaxy. Immediately afterwards, this crack released extremely terrifying warp energy. The powerful warp energy is pulling the surrounding meteorite fragments, and a terrifying energy storm is forming. Not only that, but with this energy raging, the warp crack is expanding frantically at a speed visible to the naked eye. The terrifying warp storm gradually swept the entire Silver Light Galaxy. At this moment, several streamers appeared in the space around the subspace storm. These streamers appear around the warp storm like shooting stars in the sky. The greenskin orc ships appeared first, followed by the Tao's fleet. A large number of interstellar pirates and mercenary groups swarmed like sharks smelling blood. At this moment alone, nearly tens of thousands of ships came to the warp storm. Everyone is looking forward to it, looking forward to the appearance of the rumored legendary ship, Dreadnought Victory. The warp storm is getting more and more turbulent. At this moment, a ship broke out of the space transition state and appeared in front of everyone. The golden hull, with a huge golden angel, standing on the bow. The whole ship makes people think of the word luxury at first sight. And such a luxuriously decorated ship, anyone with a discerning eye can guess it. This ship is the S-class ship Golden Glory of the Jin clan. It's the Jin clan. They actually came to participate in the battle for the dreadnought victory. As the richest forces in the outer seas, if they don't come, then there are ghosts. It's the first time I've seen the Golden Glory of the Jin clan. I don't know if it will be broken in one shot. Before he finished speaking, 3 streams of light appeared around the Golden Glory. The 6 stars of the Sun Alliance lead the Dao Wujian, the flagship Liangyi Bagua. The 10-day king of the shark pirates, Hyles, is the flagship of the Furious Sea and Fury. And the last rising star, Su Yan's flagship, the Hyperion. The 4 S-class ships appeared almost at the same time, and everyone was shocked. What's the situation? Why did these 4 forces suddenly gather? But in the next second, countless streamers appeared again, and dense ships appeared around the 4 ships. No matter which force they belonged to before, there is only one name now, and that is the Golden Alliance. Seeing such a terrifying fleet size, Su Yan couldn't help but sigh. Is this the power of the Alliance? Now, the ships of their Golden Alliance add up to 500. The combined attack of 500 ships, even S-class ships, would not last long. At this time, Su Yan also looked at the communication channel in front of him. Jin Luo, the energy of the warp will reach the critical value in 5 minutes, and the warp storm will break out completely by then. Jin Luo, before this, we try not to get close to the center of the warp storm. When the dreadnought victory appears, whoever dares to snatch it from us can just fire. Jin Luo, if someone can destroy the most enemy ships in this operation, our Jin clan will offer a reward of 50 billion, or equivalent items. As soon as these words came out, Hyles in the communication channel was the first to sit still. Didn't expect this action to have a lot of luck? Haley smiled with white teeth. The game is good. I like the game the most. And at this moment, the warp storm began to vent again. I saw that the warp cracks were spreading at a speed visible to the naked eye. At this moment, the fleet of green orcs rushed up first. After seeing the green-skinned orcs in action, the surrounding mercenary groups seemed to have reacted and rushed frantically towards the warp storm. Rumbling. The warp storm swept up a large number of meteorite fragments, and the terrifying energy formed a thundercloud. One after another, the warp lightning burst out. For the new ship, charge! The green-skinned orcs attacked the center of the warp storm like a death squad. Seeing those fleets rushing towards the warp crack, Jean Luo also frowned. These green orcs are dying, and the energy of the warp cracks has not been fully released yet. Once approached, the warp energy erupts, and the power is no less than a plasma cannon. Boom! Along with a huge energy shock wave burst out from the crack in the subspace. The green-skinned orc ship at the front was directly blown away by the shock wave. But the biggest advantage of the green-skinned orcs is their numbers. They are like warriors who are not afraid of death. For glory, for the ship, rush! Whoosh! Suddenly, a UFO flew out of the warp storm. The UFO went straight through a green-skinned orc ship. All the green orcs were stunned. What happened? In the next second, countless flying material warp cracks burst out. The green-skinned orcs have a large number of ships, but their armor is extremely weak. Those flying objects were like missiles, falling directly into the fleet of green orcs. Squeak! The voices of unknown creatures came from the fleet of green orcs. For a while, the mercenary group that was still rushing forward stopped. Even the fleets on the periphery stopped. WTF? They are not the green-skinned orcs who only know how to charge. The UFO that just rushed out of the warp looks like some kind of creature. Warp creatures? At this moment, Bai Ying, who was cultivating spiritual energy, suddenly opened his eyes in the white night. She felt it, and the Zerg consciousness appeared. Boom! A sound like a heartbeat spread out in the silent space. All ships received this strange energy fluctuation. Boom! 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 It's like the heart is beating, and it's like the drums of war are beating. I saw that in the crack of the warp, a huge bow appeared in everyone's field of vision. The sun symbolizing glory, and the goddess statue holding the sun of glory rushed out of the warp space and appeared in front of the world again. It's the fearless victory. But the next second, everyone's surprised faces were fixed on their faces. The statue of the goddess holding the glorious sun suddenly opened her eyes, and her scarlet eyes looked like evil spirits from hell. A sharp roar ran through the entire Silverlight galaxy, and the other half of the goddess statue appeared in everyone's field of vision. However, the other half of this goddess statue, which symbolizes glory, is already shrouded in scarlet flesh and blood vines. The dreadnought Victory reappeared in the public eye after many years. However, when everyone saw the appearance of the fearless Victory, a chill came from the bottom of their hearts. Boom! 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 Accompanied by a heartbeat like a drum of war, it spread in the silent sea of stars like a whisper of an evil god. The legendary ship Dreadnought Victory appeared in front of everyone. But looking at the ship in front of them, there was a touch of fear in everyone's eyes. The scarlet hull is covered with flesh and blood tentacles that look like blood vessels. 80% of the entire ship's body has been wrapped in dark red flesh. One has a Zerg brood attached to the deck of the Dreadnought Victory like a pustule. At this moment, the Dreadnought Victory, which has experienced the erosion of time in the warp, appeared in everyone's field of vision. But now it can be regarded as a ship, and no one can be sure. Just seeing the Dreadnought Victory in front of them, they all felt a chill behind them. Hiss! At this moment, a new figure appeared in the warp crack behind the Dreadnought Victory. The frigate of the Fearless Victory was also shrouded in the Zerg mother nest at this moment. The dark red flesh and blood hull looks like a creation of the evil god. A large number of octopus-like Zerg stood on the deck, making heart-pounding screams. Fear spreads among the fleet. Damn! What the hell is this? Retreat! This is not the Dreadnought Victory we are looking for. Before he finished speaking, countless evil eyes suddenly opened on the side of the Fearless Victory. One after another, artillery eroded by flesh and blood rises. Boom! In the next second, countless blood-filled shells fell on the ships at the forefront like a torrential rain. Rumbling. For a time, a large number of ships exploded directly. A large number of flesh and blood missiles exploded the moment they touched the ship. Immediately afterwards, those octopus-like Zerg jumped up. They just jumped up, and their bodies attacked the ships of the green orcs and the ships of those mercenaries like missiles. Seeing this scene, Su Yan finally understood what those sudden flying objects were. Damn, why did the Dreadnought Victory become such a ghost? Even Jean Luo, who had received noble etiquette since childhood, could not help but utter foul language at this time. Their Jean clan spent a lot of wealth just to be able to win the Fearless Victory. But now that the Fearless Victory has turned into this ghost, how can she explain to the family? At this time, the Tau fleet was also the channel that applied to join the Golden Alliance. Jean Luo also added it to the communication channel, and now they are grasshoppers, tied to the same front. Tau leader, everyone, the legendary ship Dreadnought Victory has been eroded by the Warp Zerg, and now we must unite against these Zerg fleets. Tau leader, if I'm not wrong, the next goal of the Dreadnought Victory should be to land on a planet. The Tau leader, we must stop the Dreadnought Victory. Once it lands on a planet, that planet will become a breeding ground for the Zerg, and the entire Star Sea will face the threat of the Zerg. As soon as these words came out, Dao Wujian also immediately affirmed, they never imagined that the Dreadnought Victory they were fighting for would actually become a hotbed for the Zerg lair. Now, the prey has become a hunter, and they must stop the Zerg from spreading again in the Xinghai. Jean Luo also immediately said, change the next battle plan, attack the Fearless Victory with all firepower, and let it land safely. The fleets, which were still fighting separately, reached a consensus at this moment. Hales took the lead in rushing into the Zerg fleet with the shark pirates. Little ones, fire! Let these Zerg see how powerful the ocean sharks are. With an order, a large amount of artillery fire attacked the Fearless Victory like a torrential rain. But at this moment, a large number of Zerg fleets directly blocked in front of the Fearless Victory. A lot of artillery fire fell on the Zerg fleet, but the ships of the Zerg fleet were composed entirely of Zerg flesh and blood. As long as the Zerg mother nest is not killed, their ships can continue to sail. When Dao Wujian saw this, he immediately commanded his ships. The power furnace of the Bagua Liangi told the operation, and in the next second, two super-strong plasma laser beams attacked the Fearless Victory directly like sharp swords. Boom! The plasma laser beam penetrated directly through the Zerg ship, but when the plasma laser beam fell on the Dreadnought Victory, a psionic shield emerged. Psionic shield? My ship's plasma beam can't even break the shield of the Intrepid Victory. Fearless Victory is also the original S-class ship, you must first clean up the surrounding Zerg fleet. The voice did not fall, in the gap that the plasma beam had just broken. Su Yan's Hyperion blatantly appeared in the gap. Before the Zerg fleet could react, Su Yan had already locked onto the Fearless Victory. Lock the target, strengthen the Yamato cannon charging is complete. Emission. Boom. A Yamato cannon landed directly on the psionic shield of the Dreadnought Victory. The Zerg lair screamed, and a large number of Zerg ships attacked Su Yan. Su Yan's face was indifferent when the Zerg ships approached. The Valkyrie attacked brazenly, and the terrifying episode number rockets released like a torrential rain. In the starry sky, countless flames drowned the Zerg flagship. In the endless flames, Su Yan brazenly launched the second Yamato cannon. Boom! The second Yamato cannon landed directly on the Dreadnought Victory's psionic shield. At this time, the psionic shield actually began to gradually fade and finally disappeared. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. Su Yan's Hyperion actually knocked out the opponent's shield. But it's not the last. The third Yamato cannon. Emission. Boom. The Yamato cannon that penetrated the starry sky directly bombarded the hull of the Fearless Victory. The endless artillery fire engulfed half of the Dreadnought Victory in an instant. The piercing screams came from the Fearless Victory, and the Zerg brood sent out screaming waves. At this moment, all the Zerg fleets turned their turrets. Rumbling. In all directions, dense psionic laser cannons attacked Su Yan's Hyperion. With such an intensive attack, even the fastest ships in the world could not escape. Under such an attack, even S-class ships will definitely be severely damaged. The space jump is ready. Space jump. Whoosh. The next second, the Hyperion disappeared directly in place. Countless psionic laser cannons instantly gathered in one place, and endless psionic energy erupted, forming a storm of destruction. What about the Suyan people? Just when everyone was wondering, Suyan's Hyperion reappeared in the Alliance fleet. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. They never thought that Suyan's ships were so powerful. Not only can such a powerful artillery fire be continuously launched, but also a short-distance space jump? They are all S-class ships. Why is the gap so big? Haley's envy. Suyan's ship is simply her dream ship. Not only is the firepower strong enough, but if you can't beat it, you can immediately jump out of the encirclement. His own raging sea, although as a biological ship, the defense is amazing and the endurance is strong. But compared to Suyan's firepower, it's a bit inferior. And Dao Wujian also saw the power of the Hyperion at this moment. Your Excellency Suyan, is your ship for sale? The price is negotiable. Jin Luo was also envious after seeing the power of the Suyan Hyperion. What dreadnought victory, wasn't it still bombarded by Suyan's ships? Among all the ships I have seen, Suyan's ships are definitely among the top ships in terms of attack power and escape energy, but these people don't know that the current Hyperion has been strengthened by Suyan's tens of billions of star coins. Its ship rating is at least at the S+ level, which is not a level at all compared with ordinary S-class ships. However, Suyan did not say it explicitly, and also said it in the communication channel. Now the Zerg fleet has been eyeing me, and the next round of attacks will be launched in 10 minutes. Tau Star Battleship and Shark Pirates, you give me a cooldown. The ships of the Jin Clan and the Sun Alliance, you two ships will help me clear a suitable gap when the time comes. Clear. The four fleets also agreed with Suyan's plan. At this moment, something shocking happened to everyone. I saw a layer of psionic shield rise again on the surface of the Fearless Victory. Seeing the psionic shield rise again, Dao Wujian and Hyles were both numb. F***CK, can this psionic shield recover automatically? Doesn't that mean no, our attack just now was all in vain? Not for nothing. At least, Suyan's attack did damage to it. Hiss. The Dreadnought Victory once again sent orders to the surrounding Zerg fleet. At this time, everyone began to discover that among those Zerg fleets, some Zerg fleets actually began to change. Their bodies began to collide like balloons. Seeing these colliding, Zerg ships like hot air balloons, they also looked solemn. Attention to all ships, there are changes in the Zerg fleet, all pay attention to vigilance. Don't stop the firepower, we must not let the Zerg fleet get close to our line of defense. The artillery fire of many fleets and the psionic fire of the Zerg fleet were intertwined into a large net in the galaxy. But at this moment, a Zerg ship plunged into the fleet of the Sun Alliance. The next second, the Zerg ship inflated like a balloon. Boom! The fire soared into the sky, and a huge shock wave spread among the fleet. Almost instantly, several ships were directly swallowed by flames. But in such a short time, several Zerg ships broke through the blockade and fell into the fleet. Boom! 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 The fire was soaring into the sky, and the endless shock wave was like a stone falling into the lake, setting off thousands of ripples. A large number of bombers fell into the fleet. The self-exploding insect ship broke through the defense line at an extremely fast speed, and a series of explosions sounded. Every time the explosion sounded, several ships would fall. For a time, the Golden Alliance has lost hundreds of ships. As long as the Zerg has flesh and blood, they can continuously produce ships, and their ships can self-destruct. But the ships on the Golden Alliance side can't stand such consumption. For a time, the defense line of the Golden Alliance was on the verge of collapse. And at this moment, the originally silent Fearless Victory also burst into an astonishing breath. A cannon of flesh and blood stretched out from the bow, and the power of terrifying psionic energy gathered at the muzzle. Not good. It's aimed at you, Haley's dodge. Boom. The scarlet psionic beam landed directly on the furious sea, and raging waves, with lightning speed. The violent psionic energy directly devoured the raging sea and raging waves. There was an incredible look on everyone's face, and the Zerg's counterattack was so sudden and so intense. They haven't seen the Zerg for too many years, so that they forget the terrible Zerg fleet. Boom! The psionic light wave erupted, and the powerful psionic aftermath directly overturned more than a dozen ships around it. Seeing this scene, Suyen gritted her teeth. The Yamato cannon has cooled down. Dao Wujian, open a way for me. After receiving the order, Dao Wujian did not hesitate. Plasma beams shot out from both sides of the ship, and the two laser beams directly penetrated all the Zerg ships along the way. Fill me with firepower. But Commander, if the power is full, our ship will be in an overloaded state for 5 minutes. In an overloaded state, all the power of the ship will be overheated and cannot be used. This means that they will become a living target. But Dao Wujian doesn't care, this is the last chance. The Dreadnought Victory is already close to the deflagration star, and it is absolutely impossible for this ship to successfully land on the deflagration star. Fill me up. Dao Wujian firmly ordered. All crew members no longer hesitate, and the power of the plasma beam is increased several times in an instant. The Dreadnought Victory's psionic barrier resurfaced, but it eventually disappeared under the full-power plasma beam attack. Last chance. Fire. Boom. The first Yamato cannon fires. The artillery fire was released, and the Yamato cannon directly hit the hull of the Dreadnought Victory. The terrifying flames directly engulfed half of its hull. Boom. The second Yamato cannon is fired. The violent energy directly penetrated the Dreadnought Victory. The amazing energy of the Yamato cannon directly ignited the entire Dreadnought Victory. Boom. Third-party Yamato cannon firing. With a loud bang, the Dreadnought Victory was blasted into two halves. A huge explosion shockwave spread around the Dreadnought Victory. The fearless Victory turned into a massive fire and fell directly towards the deflagration star. Seeing this scene, everyone's faces are full of incredible. They won? But at this moment, Bai Ying's voice appeared behind Su Yin. No. The Zerg consciousness on that ship hasn't died yet. Hiss. Under the eyes of the public, all the Zerg ships seem to be summoned to attack the detonating star. The battle is not over yet. Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.